Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we are here for a tournament that I decided to enter. This is a 4-round tournament where you can only use Pokemon which each gender has differences. So, like Wobbuffet, like the female one has like a pink mouth, I think. I don't really know what the female Wobbuffet is, but I think that was it. So, this is also, we also can't change Pokemon, so the team building isn't really that key. You just generally bring 6 Mons and have to stick with those. So yeah, um, we are going to be showing off all 3 of my matches today. We faced 4 people. The first match I forfeit. We both forfeited. Like we didn't have time to play it, really. I mean, really, I don't know, but we just didn't really schedule it, and we took a tie, which gives us both a point. A win gives you 2 points, and a loss gives you 0 points. And the person with the most points after round 4 does win the whole tournament. So we're hoping to at least go 3 wins and 1 tie now, which gives us 7 points. So that would be very nice. I'm just hoping we can come out with some really nice games, though. That's really what I was hoping. You play the person until one of you has 2 wins, so you can either play 2 matches or 3 matches depending on if the same person wins the first 2. So anyway, we're gonna jump into the first one here, and I'm gonna lead off with Donphan, as my opponent leads off with their Meowstic, and they go for a Reflect as I go for an Earthquake. I was gonna go Rocks, but I wasn't too sure if they'd be carrying something like Magic Coat, so I just went for the Earthquake. Here I go for Rocks on their Light Screen. As they switch into Rose right now, I'm gonna be able to get an Earthquake off. And here, I was pretty sure they'd be packing maybe Leaf Storm or Leech Seed. Leech Seed Sob was kind of a set I was pretty afraid of, so I decided I was just going to get the kill. I could take a Leaf Storm, I could go down to 1. I just didn't think he'd have Giga Drain, as he goes for a Magical Leaf, which is kind of an interesting move, but it does take me down to my sturdy either way, so that's pretty unfortunate. But we're going to get rid of the Rose Raid. As my opponent brings out the Donphan, and I'm gonna go for Rocks. I did not realize I was faster. I was just trying to set Rocks on the Rapid Spin, as that is what my opponent wants to do. He wants to keep the Rocks off, but this turn he goes for a Gyro Ball, knowing he's just wasting screen turns. So I bring in Sizzle now, and I believe I Swords Danced. Actually, I think I knocked off. No, I Swords Danced on the Donphan because I knew Reflect had 1 turn left, and I'm gonna knock off. It doesn't do too much, it's not like an insane amount, but it does knock off the Assault Vest on the Donphan. And I'm gonna go for a Bullet Punch. Actually, U-turn. U-turn was the play, and I knock out the Donphan. So Sizzle would have been some work, and I bring out the Staraptor, and this lures my Lotic in. My Lotic's probably the biggest threat my opponent has for my whole team, so that's pretty scary. I believe I just go for a U-turn. Yep. And I go into my Sizzle, because I thought the Ice Beam would come off, as it does. And now I think I U-turn. Oh no, I knocked off. No, I U-turned on the Attract. We managed to break through, that's really good. And I can bring out Weavile and go for a knockoff, which is like going to kill because that damage showed it was not Marvel Scale. And we knock out the Milotic with Flame Orb. He brings out May. I'm going to knock off the Combustion. And it's going to lose the Eviolite and misses Fire Spin. Now, miss is unfortunate because even if it didn't kill, I was trapped and I'm locked into knockoff. So that's really unfortunate for my opponent, but I still don't really have a switch in other than Chomp. And if this has Hidden Power Ice, I could just lose right now to a Combustion, especially offensive Combustion, because my opponent does get the speed boost. So I'm going to go into Sizzle to die, as I believe they miss a second Fire Spin. That's not too big though, because I'm just going to go for a Bullet Punch. So sure, it would have conserved a bit of health, but I don't know, it doesn't matter an insane amount, as the Fire Spin is able to take down my Scizor. I'm joking, but, you know, I mean, it didn't take it down, but then it took it down after the turn, you know. And I bring out my Garchomp, and at this stage, Earthquake. My opponent goes for a Toxic. I was so scared of HP Ice, but Toxic comes off, and I believe my opponent goes into a Meowstic now, and goes for the Reflect, as we are just going to hit another Earthquake, as my opponent tries to go for the Psychic, but I'm just going to get rid of Hocus, and it's just down to Kricketune now, and I'm pretty confident I've got the game at this stage. I'm no Earthquake, as my opponent goes for a Fell Stinger. Now, I'm going to switch out. No, sorry, my Garchomp dies to Toxic, but I don't think my opponent won if they got the booster at 68. I still believe Brave Bird from Staraptor here would. I think Brave Bird knocks him out here, so it wouldn't have changed anything in this game, and we do pick up a 3-0 win. So I'm obviously going into the second game now, and pretty much what I generally like to do in this tournament so far is try and learn most of their sets on the game 1, and then if I lose game 1, game 2 and 3 I try and make a comeback, and you know, because I know that most of their sets in. But obviously I won that first match. So this time it's a Kabuskin versus Weavile lead. I knew Weavile had a chance of leading, but I'm going to be able to get Donphan. My opponent goes for a Protect. I believe I go for an Earthquake here. Well, I go for Rocks, never mind. Rocks on the Protector, and now I go for an Earthquake. Now I didn't know really the rules of speed passing, but it really doesn't matter since Kabuskin just gets absolutely demolished there. And my opponent goes into it, their Donphan. As I'm going to go for the Earthquake. My opponent goes for the Ice Shard, and we're going to exchange our Donphans pretty much here. I'm going to go for another Earthquake, and you can see my Donphan is obviously going to die first. They're still going to be able to have theirs round, and it's going to be okay, but I actually do have Ice Shard on mine as well, so we're actually going to be exchanging Donphans. So at this stage my opponent has 4 Pokemon left, and it's looking good. As Hocus comes out, I'm going to go for the Swords Dance, I believe, into Knockoff now, because Knockoff just kind of demolishes anything, and that just knocks out Hocus even through the Reflect, which is really good. My opponent goes into the Roserade. I'm going to go for a Bullet Punch. It's a 2-hit KO. I actually did that because I thought that my opponent brought the Roserade in to go for the Hidden Power Fire. It just seemed like something that could happen, but they go for a Magical Leaf, and I'm just going to be able to pick off the Roserade as well. And I believe Kricketune actually is sent out here. No, my Lotic. But I'm going to be able to knock off the Flame Orb as the Hydro Pump comes off, which was really quite interesting. I'm not sure how experienced my opponent was in this match, but it was pretty cool. I mean, they did okay for a team, in my opinion, that wasn't very well. But I'm going to be able to bring in Staraptor and just click Brave Bird 2 times in this match, and pick up a 5-0 on the second match against my opponent. I believe his name is Tyler, so able to go 2 wins to 0 losses against Tyler, and no differential doesn't matter in the tournament, but I believe we went 8-0, so that was really good. And we're moving on to our second match here, or sorry, our third match, because now we were 1 win to 1 tie, so that's 3 points. And this round we play off against Texas Man Gaming, and he's a reasonably scary team. He has some of the threats my team has in Weavile, Sizzle, Garchomp. Those ones are like you have to kind of have them to have a decent team. And he also has the Tangrowth, which I have. But instead of Donphan and Staraptor, he has a Houndoom and Jellicent, and those two are pretty scary towards my team. Jellicent is reasonably hard for anything other than like Weavile and Staraptor to break, and Houndoom just clicks Fire Blast, and I have Garchomp as like my only switch in. So I'm going to jump into this one. I'm only Donphan as he leads with the Sizzle. I'm going to go for Rocks on the Bullet Punch. Actually, I throw off an Earthquake. I'm going to go for Rocks here, knowing that it's really safe to do that. I just went for the Earthquake on turn 1 because of the chance that I would be seeing a Swords Dance Sizzle. We all know what happened last time I played Texas Man in the IBA. I believe I got swept by a Swords Dance Sizzle, and I didn't want that to happen again. So I'm going to go for Rocks, and here I'm going to switch out, I believe, into my own Tangrowth. No, I go Hard Sizzle on his knockoff, and I'm just going to U-turn out now. He swaps out into his own Sizzle, and I'm going to go to Donphan because it's my best check to his Sizzle, and if he doesn't have Roost, I'm getting rid of him this turn as he goes for the Roost. Now, this is scary because Sizzle is actually really threatening to my team, which may be a shock because I have one on my team, so it's not like the worst thing. But it does break through it a lot as he goes for another Roost, and we're just going to have this Roost still here. But I'm going to be able to get my Donphan a bit higher, and I'm not sturdy range yet, but I go out on 1 turn away, which was my play as he U-turns. Now, that was an interesting play because you're going to see later he plays weirdly with Sizzle round 1 in my opinion. But here comes Jellicent, and I cannot touch this. I have no business staying in as I go Tang on the Wisp miss. Unfortunate miss because here I believe he goes Sizzle. As I go for a Toxic, so that was a good prediction. I mean, it is just a Giga Drain switch in as well. As he goes for a Defog, I go for a Knockoff, and he is very low health without his Occa Berry now, which I didn't have a fire type attack on this team, so an Occa Berry is not key. He U-turns. Now, that play made no sense to me. I'm just going to pause it there. He doesn't hound him, obviously. But the U-turn play made no sense. I feel like he should have roosted because his Sizzle is so key in this match. Sizzle is very threatening towards my team. And now if I can get rocks back up, Scissor is gone. But he did get in Hounding, so is it really a bad play? So we have Garchomp. We're switching in Garchomp to take the hit from Hounding. And this play, he took a while on this play, and in my opinion, Fire Blast is a play every time because he literally kills everything but Garchomp, so that's something. Okay, I'm back, sorry about that. But in my opinion, you click Fire Blast every time here because I have one resist, but he actually goes up and clicks Dark Pulse, which was interesting, and he reveals the Life Orb, so I'm just going to go for an Earthquake now. And I went Stone Edge because I thought Tang could come in, but now he gets Scissor in, and my Garchomp misses. That means that I either will let him click Roost, or will sack Chomp to him clicking Bullet Punch, which is what I decided to do. I'm going to lose our Chomp, but he's going to lose his Scissor, so that's one of his threats gone, one of my threats gone. I ring Staraptor, he brings in Garchomp. I'm going to click U-turn because I'm pretty afraid of this. It's not Scarfed, so that's good. I'm going to go Donphan as he goes Rocks, and I'm at 99, and he clicks Swords Dance, which was really good because now I get my own Rocks up. And now I beat Garchomp 100% of the time, Earthquake plus Shard because of Sturdy, as he goes for his Dragonium Z, and he probably would have won here if I didn't have Sturdy. He actually told me he forgot I had Sturdy, so that was really unfortunate. It was just kind of a mistake on his part, but I'm going to be able to get rid of the Garchomp as he brings out the Weavile, I believe. No Jealous, never mind. I'm going to just click Earthquake, but he is obviously faster than me. And I believe I go Tang now, because Tang is my best switching. I go Weavile to click Knockoff, because he had no knockoff switching, Banded, and he goes Houndoom, and this thing just dies. Dude, Weavile is so strong. I believe he goes into his own Weavile here, because it's literally his only Chag. I actually should have knocked off here, but I actually went into Tangrowth, predicting the low kick. As he goes for a Brick Break, I'm going to switch out into Sizzle, predicting the Icicle Crash, as he just goes into his own Tangrowth, which does give me a free U-turn, so it's not all that bad. So I'm going to go for a U-turn, weaken his Tang, bring out Staraptor, as he goes for an Earthquake. So we are playing the man out here, and we click a U-turn, and he lives. I don't know why I didn't Brave Bird, because Brave Bird literally 2-hit KO'd everything. It knocked out Weavile, 2-hit KO'd Jellicent, and it killed Tang. I really don't remember why I switched, but he goes for a knockoff. And here he goes for a Hidden Power Fire as I knock him out with a Toxic, which was kind of a misplay as well. I should have just Giga Drained, but his Tang is gone now, and he is going to bring in Weavile. I'm just going to let him kill my Tangrowth, I believe. Yeah, because he is taking a lot of Life Orb damage, so I'm never able to bring in Sizzle here. And I'm going to click Knockoff, predicting the switch, as that is what he does. It was just a better play in my opinion. I could have SD'd and then click Knock, but if he was faster than me, he'd just got rid of me. But I'm going to go Staraptor here, as he gets for a recover. So here was where I had to hope that he kind of choked, because he had the game, in my opinion. If he recovered until I either died or my move got disabled, because I was Choice Scarfed, I was locked, he would have been fine. But he does choke and he clicks Scold, so he knocks us out, and Jellicent is now in range. I'm not sure, actually, it's not really a choke, never mind, because either way Weavile could knock him out with a knockoff, and Weavile couldn't switch into it. And here, he's going to go into his own Weavile, who comes at 6%, and I just choose to sack off Sizzle, and he just kills himself with the Life Orb, and we are able to win this one 1-0, so we go 1-0 against Texas Man, and here's a rematch battle. Obviously same teams, but this one was a bit more interesting. Well, actually that one was the more interesting one, but I lead Staraptor, he leads Jellicent. I just U-turn out because I'm not willing to stay in and get what's that ability, Curse Body, and I switched Tangan in a Blitz, and I'm pretty sure he's cursed, but I'm just gonna go for a Toxic as he gets into his own Tangrowth. I go for a knockoff actually, and I think here I Toxic because I knew I could take a Hidden Power Fire pretty easily, and I know I'm faster than his Tangrowth because I've been faster every single time. So unless he's the most unlucky player, I am obviously faster. I'm gonna go for a Synthesis as he gets for a Hidden Power Fire. And I think I just go for another Synthesis as he switches into something else. Now I switched Donphan, he switches Houndoom, so we make the play. And he goes for a Nasty Block, predicting Rocks, and I'm actually just gonna kill the Houndoom, so that was a pretty good, that was an interesting play. But here comes Jellicent, and he clicks Hex. He predicts me to make that play into Tangrowth, and I'm kind of annoyed at myself for that play, because I knew he had Hex. Like, I was 90% sure he had Hex, but I still went into Tangrowth on it. And here, I make a second misplay. I switch into Staraptor to take the Hex, as he knows he just clicks Scold, which in hindsight, I should have just thought he would have done that anyway, because it knocked out Tangrowth at that stage. He didn't need the Hex again. But I'm playing badly, but I'm just gonna go for a Brave Bird as he goes for a Recover. He misses Wisp, and here he switches, I believe, into his Sizzle, and that's a 2-hit KO. But I have to switch on the off chance he goes for a Bullet Punch, but he actually goes for the Roost, so I could have knocked him out there, which would have been good. But he goes for a U-turn, and Tangrowth takes it on one, which is great. It's just great, you know. I'm able to get my Synthesis off, and I believe a Synthesis again as his switch is Weaver. Here he stays in, goes for a HP fire, but I'm going to go for another Synthesis as he goes into Weavile here, I believe. Yep, as he does. And I go for a knockoff. This play was interesting. I knew I could take a Crash, which I do, and I go for a knockoff, but I kind of don't know, because Life Orb Recoil really helped me with the weakening of Weavile. And without that, he's able to get rid of my tank. So with a shard, I have to go Sizzle, and I'm just going to click Swords Dance here, as I'm actually revealed to be faster than the Jellicent, and I'm able to get rid of that with a knockoff. And you already know how this game's about to go. He goes to Guard Jump, which I knew could not OHKO, so I'm able to go for a knockoff on this. And it's obviously Dragonium Z, but I'm able to finish it with a Bullet Punch. And that means he has 3 Mons left, and he brings he brings Scissor next, and I knock off because Bullet Punch is not going to kill him. As he goes for a Bullet Punch, I'm going to knock off his Occa Berry. I'm going to go for another Bullet. I'm going to go for a Bullet Punch here. I'm going to exchange off the Bullet Punches, and I'm going to Bullet Punch one more time, and he is not going to Bullet Punch, or I want the Sweet Shot, one of the two. He goes into Weavile next, and I don't know why he made this play. He makes a double into Tangrowth. I don't know what he was really hoping that would do. The crit does not matter. I typically KO'd every time. But I already get rid of Tangrowth, and you're able to see even without that, the 2 lefties turns his Weavile could nowhere near kill me. As I'm able to pick up a 5-0 win, Scissor was able to pick up 5 kills there in the end, and we go 2-0 against Texas Man. So we won our next 2, so we are now 2-1. And obviously I have not played the 4th game yet, but I will see you guys when I do, which will probably be about a week for me, and about 5 seconds for you. So yeah. Okay, so we're back. I think it's been like a week, 2 weeks for me. Actually, not been 2. It's been like a week. I decided to record the rest, like now, like all my remaining matches, so this match and then any of the top card if I do make it in, which if we win this match against Ayuk, both of the match, if we win 2 out of 3, then I do lock top card, I actually lock number 1, the top spot, so I kind of want to do that. So we are playing off against the owner of this tournament group, who has a Gyarados, Roserade, Powdon, Meowstic, Garchomp, and Tangrowth. Obviously, you've seen my team already, so I'm going to jump straight into the battle. Let me have a look. Which one was first? I think it was this one. No, it was the one I had first. Okay, so Staraptor is my lead, and they just go for a Reflect straight away, but I was pretty confident that Meowstic... I don't really know what Meowstic does other than Toxic and Dual Screens and Psychic. It's really all it does, so... And he's probably just going to click Reflect, so I just fire for a U-turn and go into my Sizzle to set up. And I believe I go for a Sorry, I went for a knockoff, and here I go for a U-turn, just to get away and weaken him if I can. Oh, I Swords Dance. I'm really good at remembering this match. I Swords Danced again. I was trying to somehow get this kill. I don't really know how that was my plan, but I'm a +6, so I'm obviously going to hit him hard, and he whirlwinds. So, he is Rocks Up, he is a Whirlwind, and he has a good lead in this match. I just go for a Toxic, Roserade comes in, predicting that, so I'm very far behind already, it feels like, but I can go into Sizzle, take a Sludge Bomb, and I know they're going to have HP Fire, but I didn't predict it, and I just lose Sizzle. Actually, I think this wasn't the first match, but we'll go over it anyway. I go into Weavile because the Reflect is gone, I can just click Icicle Crash, and that's going to knock out Roserade. And here I make a very risky play. My logic to this play was I needed damage to beat this after a Dragon Dance. Obviously Scarf Chomp, Scarf Raptor, both outspeed, but I'm gonna make this play click crash, and they go for the waterfall, and Weavile takes it, dude. Weavile's a champ. We're gonna go for another crash, and Weavile is about to put in the work. Meowstic comes out, but I'm just gonna crash again, and Meowstic goes down to where it goes down after getting both screens up. So we're both not in great positions because Tangrowth can live the hit. So I'm actually gonna switch and try and get the rapid spin off later. As my opponent goes for the knockoff, I believe here we go for Toxic, as they go for a Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Fire. So I'm gonna Synthesis, knowing I'm faster. I seem to be faster than every Tangrowth I faced in this tournament. I think I may have put like 1 speed on, or something like that. I think I had some speed investment because that's why I seem to be outspeeding the rest. I'm just going to go for a Toxicolo and Chomp coming out. And, oh no, I'm Synthesis again as Chomp sets up. And I'm going to go Staraptor, who's a bit of a weird play. And in my opinion, this was where I choked. If they just clicked the Outrage there, they would have at least secured 2 kills. So, or Dragon Claw, I don't really know. They would have at least secured 1 kill and weakened either Tangrowth or Donphan very heavily, but now I can get my Staraptor to get this big hit off, as it is Outrage, and Staraptor does go down, but I can bring in Guard in Donphan now, and I believe I just fire off a Shard, and that's going to be that for Garchomp, and we're down to the stage where I need to spin now against this, and I'm going to choose to just sack Donphan to get the spin off, and if the Giga Drain comes off, Donphan, I believe I let Donphan go. I actually go Tangrowth of my own because I know Tangrowth can win the 1v1. I believe I just I click Giga Drain here because I know I'm faster. I knock him off. So I knock off the AV. I believe now I just click Synthesis. So this was a pretty hard match for Auk to win. We do get a big we get crit there, but it doesn't even matter. I just sack off Tangrowth. I didn't actually need it anymore to secure this victory. So this is pretty much game because Tangrowth goes down and Hippo comes out, I believe go Weavile, and there's not really a way that I can get this one anymore. I believe he knocks me out of the Earthquake, and I just go into Garchomp and click Earthquake of my own, and that's going to be a good game in our first match. So I will say Auk's team is extremely Weavile weak, so that was the main reason I was able to claw this win. I actually didn't play too well, but I'm still able to secure another win in this tournament. So one more win and we secure top cart number 1. So I'm going to move on to the second game we played. And this one was... okay, my opponent leads Hippo, I lead Donphan. I believe we exchange rocks. So rocks are up now on both sides. I spin them away as my opponent goes to the Earthquake. And here he goes for rocks, I want to say, on my switch into Tangrowth. Yeah, no, he goes for EQ. And Tangrowth does threaten him out. So I think Roserade came back out. And this time I knew not to do the same thing with Sizzle. I still went for Toxic though. I really don't know my logic behind this play. And I went Chomp here, as my opponent goes for the Spike. So, here comes Hippo, because Hippo is the best check to Chomp. I do not predict it, I just go for the Declaw. So Hippo is pretty much on full, and I need to get something in to spin away. I need to spin hazards first. I thought rocks would come up there, but unfortunately it's Earthquake. So we're going to get some Earthquakes off here. We're going to at least be able to chip down the Hippo. We do get crit, but it really doesn't matter. And Hippo is weakened now. And Donphan is pretty much gone, but unfortunately Toxic would have been so good here, but unfortunately, Hippo has recovery, and we go down with the Hippo being above half. So I wouldn't say that was worth it, but I bring in Weavile now because he's no crash switching, as he just sacks off the Hippo. So I think he probably could have gone Meowstic there. That could have been a better play. But here I do switch out, because I thought, oh no, didnt came off this time. So I miss a Stone Edge, and that's going to cost me Chomp, and this mon is super scary. I hate Gyarados, it's just such a monster, but I bring in Staraptor, I click Brave Bird, and it's gone. So luckily Auk didn't realize I was Scarf this time, because this was the first match. I actually got it wrong in the first 2 matches here. this was the first battle we had. As the reflect goes up, so now I'm going to go Sizzle, because I know I can click Swords Dance, and I know how big an issue Sizzle's going to be. But I'll try. I went for a knockoff, and here I U-turn because I'm Drought. Obviously going to be going to sleep on this turn. I believe this knocks out the Meowstic. Yeah, so Meowstic's gone, and he's down to 3 mons. I bring out this, he brings out Garchomp. I just click U-turn. No, I didn't. I Brave Birded for some reason. I think I was trying to throw the match. I don't know. That wasn't okay. So I see Life Orb, so I'm gonna go Tangrowth. No, it can take an Outrage. I wasn't too sure on Weavile's Ice Shard here behind Reflect, so I'm just gonna send out Tangrowth, get a Toxic off, get a Synthesis up, and this is also just burning screen turns, so it's just really effective. So that's the main point of it. So obviously Garchomp's pretty much gone, so I'm gonna go for another Synthesis. I believe Roserade came out, as it does. So I don't know how I feel about the save. I think it was worth getting Roserade in. I just sack off Tangrowth. I didn't really think it was that necessary at this stage, because I can bring in Weavile, and Weavile can click Crash here. I believe he sacks off Chomp. Yep. As Chomp comes in, dies to Crash, and now Tangrowth comes out. And Tangrowth does live, I believe. It lives pretty low health, but it does live the Crash, I believe. So even though it's banded Crash, this lives, and it can potentially knock me out if it gets a crit. So it's not over, but we actually crit him. So that's unfortunately going to be game in this one, unless I miss Crash against Roserade, because then he wins, but we do not, and we wrap that one up, and we win again 2-0, putting us number 1 into top cut. So round 1 we were playing off against Senpai Terranon, I think is his name. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but that's who I played in round 1 of the playoff thing. Yep. Top cut playoff, same thing really. So I will skip to that battle now. Okay, so we are up against Senpai Terranon, something like that. But yeah, welcome to our Top Cut round 1. So I will just tell you right now, there is 3 games. So this is the first match we've actually had 3 games, and I was pretty excited to play this guy. Although I would have preferred to be put up against Auk or Texas Man, because I know both their teams, and I personally think I have a decent matchup against their teams, and I do not know this opponent's team very well. But you are going to see that my opponent pretty much has my team, plus Alakazam over Staraptor, Pyro over Donphan. I didn't see a single Staraptor in this whole tournament, and I just feel like that's a really interesting thing, because Staraptor, in my opinion, was one of my best mons for this tournament. It's so underrated. It's BL, but I don't ever see people use it in videos, or just see anyone use it at all. But I'm going to lead Sizzle. My opponent leads Alakazam. I just click Knockoff. Sorry, I click U-turn. As my opponent goes for the Side Shot Shadow Ball, and we do click Knockoff, and we just knock out Alakazam turn 1. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to get a knockout turn 1. Pyro comes out. Yep, and Pyro is so scary. Fire types towards my team, no, just no. And he goes for a Flamethrower on my Chomp. I do not believe I get burned. I do not. So I'm able to go for an Earthquake. Although I Stone Edge in case he goes to Tangrowth to get more damage, but he's very bulky. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to go Tangrowth. My opponent goes for a Leech Seed, but unfortunately I am a Tangrowth, so it's not going to affect me. So Toxic comes off on my side. My opponent has Sludge Bomb, dude. Why does every other Tangrowth have coverage from my Tangrowth, but it doesn't even get past me because of my Synthesis Speed Tangrowth? Which seems to be putting in too much work in this, to be honest. I Synthesis, as my opponent goes straight into the Sizzle, and Scizor is also really effective against my team. Swords Dance comes off, and Swords Dance Sizzle is such a threat, dude. I'm going to get an Earthquake off here, pop the Citrus Berry, but that Citrus Berry was an interesting bring on Scizor in my opinion. As my opponent goes for the Swords Dance there, in my opinion that was a misplay, because if this Ice Shard had knocked my opponent's Sizzle down to where Garchomp's Rough Skin would be, or Weavile's Ice Shard, then that was pretty much it done. So he's going to Bug Bite, and I'm going to bring in Chomp. I was hoping that he was in range, but he obviously lives on 1, but I can bring in Weavile now and secure the kill with the Ice Shard. So if they head in Swords Dance again, I think they won. So although they might not have killed Chomp, I don't really know too much about that, but I'm going to go out to Starap. I'm going to go Tangrowth to go down. I pretty much picked a sack against Pyro when it came out at this stage. But I can go into Staraptor now and click Close Combat as my opponent sacks off Pyro. Misplay in my opinion, but I'm not too sure. As Weavile comes out, and I cannot let Staraptor go down, so I go Sizzle on the Shard. As my opponent goes for a Fake Out. And you're going to see this Weavile has a Fake Out Shard later in the match. I think it's in this one or second match. So U-turn comes off, and I take a lot from that, so my Scizor is pretty weakened. But I can click Crash at this stage. My opponent goes into Weavile, which is definitely the switch in, and we miss the Crash. That hurts me a lot, but I can go Scizor as my opponent goes for a knockoff. And we lose our Sizzle. So I go in Staraptor to click Close Combat. As Chomp comes out, I actually click U-turn. So I made the prediction there, and my Staraptor is now pretty much almost in Shard range. So this game is going to be very impossible to come back, and you see why it's impossible now. I do think I could have maybe came back in this one and won the match with Staraptor, but after that miss it was over. So I lose round 1. Staraptor is obviously going to pick off this, but now I'm in Shard range because of recoil plus all the damage that Chomp puts on me. Weavile comes out, and that's going to be me done in this match. Fake Out plus Shard here was where he used it, which I thought was an interesting combination, but I'm pretty sure even without the miss on Chomp, the fake out Shard will probably be able to pick off Staraptor. So good round 1, but let's move on to round 2. So I lead off with Staraptor as my opponent leads Alakazam, and we go for Brave Bird. And Alakazam just dies. I don't know what he was doing with his Alakazam turn 1 in both of these battles so far. But I'm gonna go Scizor on the Shard. We catch it. We U-turn out here as he goes for a knockoff. No, he switches into Pyro. I believe I U-turned. Yep. And we go into Staraptor. I've got Donphan actually to click Earthquake. And I believe we just get rid of... Oh no, we get Rocks Up. Then we click Earthquake. I believe we live this. We do. We live it on 1. And we get rid of Pyro. Pyro is such a threatening mon to my team, but he sacked that off as well. Sizzle comes out. I'm going to start clicking Earthquake, weakening his Sizzle. We hit Earthquake once, puts him down to Citrus range. And I believe this time he attacks here instead of Swords Dance again. He goes for that. And we go into Chomp. Chomp is such a monster. We can click EQ. He goes to the Acrobatics. We live it and we knock him out with Rough Skin. So luckily that is already gone. Weavile comes out. I believe I go Sizzle here. I actually stayed in. And he predicted Sizzle coming out and went for knockoff. So there's Weavile gone. And match 2 is already pretty much over. This was a very quick match. But yeah, turn 10 he's already down to his last 2. He goes for an Energy Ball. And he gets a crit. Not able to pick Staraptor off though. And I can click Brave Bird now. And it will weaken him into range of the Weavile. He goes for a Leech Seed to try and get as much health as he can back. And I believe here he sacks this to... Oh no, I go Scizor actually in U-turn into Weavile. I'm not too sure about why I did that. I go Chomp. Because I'm Scarfed. What am I doing in this match? I could have gone Weavile straight away. But this is going to be game, unfortunately, to him. He clicks Outrage. And we just bring Weavile in and click Shard. And that's good game to my opponent. So we have our third match, obviously. I kind of spoiled that we won, but we both won one each, and there would be a third match. But let's jump into round 3. I lead Sizzle, my opponent leads Alakazam. And can you guess what happens? I live the hit, I click knockoff, and Alakazam dies turn 1 in each battle. And here comes Garchomp. I go for a knockoff again after living an Outrage. It was super good. We don't knock him off, unfortunately, because of the Rough Skin or Rocky Helmet knocking us out. One of the two, it really doesn't matter. Obviously Rough Skin did knock us out, but either knock you out, then you will not be able to knock off the item. He hits himself in Confusion, which is definitely unfortunate for my opponent, because I'm going to be able to pick them off without even taking a second hit, which would have been pretty nice for him to get. But I'm going to switch my Donphan into Staraptor now, as he goes for a Toxic, and I believe here he goes into his Scizor. Or does he stay in? He stays in and takes it, because this is his only one that can really take the hit. He gets for a Sludge Bomb, and we're alive. We are all good to click Brave Bird one more time, and here comes Pyro as the sack to the Brave Bird. So good sack. I believe he goes Weavile, Sizzle, Tangrowth, Ray. I don't know how I don't remember these, but I click Crash here, and that's Tangrowth gone. And he has to go Sizzle. He goes Sizzle. And I go Garchomp. because it's my best play. He goes for the bug bite. Now, here, I go for Earthquake, and he goes for a bug bite. This was, in my opinion, the biggest misplay he made in any match we had. Because if he clicks Swords Dance on that turn and click Bullet Punch next turn, he still knocked me out. And then he proceeds to win the game. He proceeds to click Bullet Punch against Weavile, knock off against Dawnfan, and U-turn against Tangrowth. Or something like that. Sorry, Bug Bite against Tangrowth. But now Dawnfan can live. Dawnfan eats any hit and gets rid of Sizzle. And that's game, pretty much. He's down to Weavile, which, actually, it's not game. Sorry, he goes Crash here, knocks me out. And this is the turn that decides the match now. So he could throw. If he loses the speed tie here, with his low kick, he throws the match, because he had it with ST Sizzle. But if we win the speed tie, we do secure a spot in the final match. And we win the speed tie. So, that's really good. That's a great game in my opinion. It really came down to the wire there. Comes down to the speed tie. Obviously, his Weavile would have been able to knock on my Tangrowth at the range it was already at. So, GG. That was interesting. If he SD'd, I'm 90% sure he won, but he could have not. I'm not too sure. But I will see you guys in the final match versus Texas Man Gaming. And we are back for our final battle versus Texas Man Gaming. So we're going to jump straight into it. I lead Weavile, he leads Jellison. I predicted that lead perfectly. I get a knockoff now. Sizzle takes the knockoff crit, unfortunately for him. And it knocks off his Ockerberry. I wish I'd clicked knockoff again. I knocked out Sizzle if I did, because he roosts. And he gets 2 roosts off. He's at full. I have rocks. I forgot he had Defog Sizzle. I completely forgot some of his sets in this match. I remembered things like he had a Life Orb Houndoom, a SD Chomp, yeah, stuff like that. But I kind of completely forgot Defog Sizzle. We crit again right here, the Tangrowth, dude. I am the crit master. I'm going to go into Star Raptor as he predicts a switch and goes for a knockoff. And he sacks off his Tangrowth. It's a good play, because his only switch in here was Jellison, and if he didn't get Curse Body, he would have just been knocked out anyway on the next turn. But he does get it, and he just goes to click Recover. I'm gonna click Pursuit here, because I thought he wanted the kill, as he does, knock me out with a Scold. But that was my second hardest hitting move on the Jellison, and I just thought maybe if he tried to switch out, I could catch that. But now I can go Weavile and click Knockoff. I completely forgot Sizzle was... No, I didn't forget Sizzle was so healthy, but for some reason, Knockoff before did... How much was it with the crit? 89. I forgot that was a crit, so I expected around 50%. I expected a bit more damage than this, so I'd be able to 2-hit KO in my mind. But I'm gonna have to switch out now into Sizzle. Now his Sizzle is not SD, so I can SD up. He goes into Chomp here, and he goes for the Earthquake, which is a 2-hit KO move after this damage, because obviously lefties would have put me high enough, but I can go for a Bullet Punch and knock out the Chomp, and he makes just some misplays. He goes Sizzle first, and he clicks Bullet Punch. I don't know why, because he could have just secured the knockout without this, as he just keeps clicking Bullet Punch. Like, he's just sacking Sizzle. Which was a weird play, because he didn't put me into shard range. I'm not in shard range. And he goes Weavile, and I'm not in shard range. He just threw this. Any chance he had in game 1, he just kept throwing these plays that he made while kind of throwing. So here's Jellison. We knocked that out with knockoff, and he sends in Houndoom, and it lives. Like, I don't quite understand. I think he thought his Houndoom died, but it didn't, and he is Life Orb, obviously, so that's going to be a good game. We do win the first match 4-0 because of him playing like that, losing to Sizzle. I don't know why, but I just felt he should have probably known his Houndoom lived, or at least gone into it a bit earlier, because I probably would go Houndoom straight away, hoping it lives BP, personally, because I know the rest of my team can't deal with Sizzle. Or if he just clicked another move other than Bullet Punch with a Sizzle. Actually, his other move, other attack might have been U-turn. Yeah, it was. That's why I didn't click another one. Here we have game 2 versus Texas Man Gaming. Sorry for the cut there. And Dawnfan is my lead. He leads Tangrowth, and I go Star Raptor. and he just for a knockoff. Good play. And I go for a Brave Bird, and that's his Tangrowth gone. I don't quite know why I did so much that turn, because I actually don't remember doing that much before. But I'm just gonna let Weavile knock us out. That may have been a misplay, but I didn't know what to click. And here, I let my Sizzle get weakened as well. But Weavile is dead. We got rid of his Weavile, which was very good for me. Weavile being gone was incredible for me. And I'm going to go for Rocks, which was an interesting play, because I get crit to Sturdy, which I don't know if it mattered to Sturdy. But I do let him kill my Donphan. And I don't think that was a bad play, but I could have used Ice Shard against Chomp. But here comes Sizzle. And I go for a knockoff. I don't quite know why I knocked off there, but I did. And he defogs with Sizzle, and I believe he switches, no, he stays in. And he lets his Sizzle get weakened. His Sizzle is almost gone, and Sizzle is, in my opinion, the scariest thing towards my team. So I'm going to go Sizzle here, let it go down, go for a Wisp. I click Swords Dance here, because I knew I wasn't doing anything, and I actually wanted Weavile to get the knockoff. But I go Weavile. No, I go Tangrowth for some reason. And Chomp comes out. I'm gonna double to my own Chomp on that play, and I get a Declaw off, and he's just gonna knock out my Garchomp. So I'm down 2-4, and Weavile is not about to put in the work yet. So I have to go Tangrowth, and I have to just knock out his Garchomp, which in my opinion was my biggest misplay, because now Scizor is back up, and this just means Scizor wins. I cannot touch it right here with my Tangrowth. You're going to see a long stool battle between Tangrowth and Scizor, which eventually ends in his Scizor switching out. But yeah, this is unfortunate. I think I could have potentially won if I'd gone Weavile first instead of Tangrowth, because it would have come down, because Weavile would obviously be able to knock the Houndoom. He would have gone Scizor, I would have gone Weavile. He would have been forced to click Bullet Punch, which actually did kill me, never mind, I don't know what I'm saying, but you're gonna see the stool battle, slowly weakening each other, and yeah. I knew what he was trying to do at this stage. It was an interesting idea, but I don't think it mattered if he did this or not. I don't think it was personally worth it, because he could have just gone Doom. But you're going to see he literally tries to wait until a turn I'm going to Synthesis to bring in Doom. Like, he can see I have nothing to touch his Houndoom. It's not like I have Earthquake as my 4th move. Sorry, it's my 5th move. But, yeah, he's just going to keep clicking Bullet Punch. And here he thought I'd Synthesis, but I actually Toxic his Houndoom as it comes in. And he just knocks us out with the Flame Fire Blast. And that's game. I mean, unfortunately, we'll be not winning this one. Obviously my Weavile is still in this dude. He's gonna make a comeback. I have to go for knockoff. It's the only play. It knocks out the Houndoom, which kind of shocked me at the time, but here comes Sizzle, and here comes Bullet Punch, and here comes the game. Even if Bullet Punch didn't kill, which obviously it would have 100% of the time, even if it didn't, I would have to crit to knock out the Sizzle, and then I'd just knock out Jellicent anyway. But good game to Texas Man. Obviously, 3rd game coming right now. He leads Jellicent. I go for Rocks. No, I don't. I switch Tangrowth. He predicts this. This match, I don't think it was this one actually. It might be. No, it was this match. What am I on about? This was the only other one. What? I go for a Toxic, and he switches to Sizzle, and I go for a Donphan, and he U-turns. So, some really good plays there, and it puts him back in Jellicent. I believe I go for Rocks here, because I go Tangrowth, and he Hexes. He predicted me so well in this match at the beginning. It was really, really interesting. We go for a Toxic. So yeah, he goes for a U-turn, and he gets put into Chomp. And we just get Synthesis off. And I believe he goes for the Z move here. Yes, he goes for a Z move. We live it and go for a Toxic, and we don't even go down to burn. It's great. But yeah, I believe I sack off No, I switched, didn't I? To Scizor, Donphan. I really remember. I'm gonna go for an Ice Shard here. No, I EQ'd here actually. And this was a great trade for me. Sorry, I rocked. And this was a great trade. I get an Ice Shard off and his Garchomp goes down 2 with my Donphan. So there is 1 Molten down on both sides now. And in my opinion, his loss was a bit bigger than mine, but I go Staraptor as he goes Weavile. I click Brave Bird because I know I live. I know I'm about to live this Weavile's hit. And we're going to exchange 2 more Mons off He loses Sizzle, I lose Strap. They're pretty much the same kind of level of needed in this match. But I go Sizzle. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep up the predictions. I had to go Tangrowth now to die. It was my best play. So unfortunately, he's able to pick off Tangrowth. I could have switched into Weavile, but it wasn't worth it, because if I got burned, I could potentially just lose 2 Jellicents. I'm going to go for a knockoff, and Sizzle comes out, and again, I forget that it doesn't do 89 without the crit, but he's still in range of where he goes down. So I go for another one, and Sizzle is gone, and that was pretty much giving me a lot of hope. So he goes Tangrowth, I go Sizzle, I make an interesting play, and he goes for a Giga Drain. I U-turn now. Sorry, I Swords Dance, because there is no way after a Swords Dance he can beat my Sizzle. There's just no way. Sorry, his Houndoom does live actually, but I knock out Jellicent, and he brings in Houndoom now because he knows it lives now, and I can click Bullet Punch. So really good game, because it's down to Weavile versus Tangrowth, and I can win this matchup 100% of the time. I can click Crash, he can't touch me, there's no way to Oko me, but I actually do Oko him. So really good match, and we are going to be this tournament's champion. I was so happy about this, but this is actually the first, like, I've been playing Mons competitively since the end of Auras, and this is the first tournament win, or just really any win I've had. Like, I've won games obviously, but I've never really won anything special. I've never won a draft league. I've never won any tournaments I've entered, mainly because the only tournaments I've entered have been like March Madness qualifiers. But I'm just quite happy about winning this overall. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.